Hello, hello, hello. I am very excited because I am 1 year locked. It's my 1 year lock anniversary. I'm super excited to be filming this video, to have reached this milestone. I'm like kind of even a little bit nervous. I made a bunch of notes. Like, I'm this excited about this. I have really loved having locks. 1 year ago, I made the best hair decision of my life, and that was to lock my hair. And I've learned so much over the past year about my locks and about my hair. And to start off with, I want to do a little recap of my 1 year with my locks. If you want to see more of this recap, I will link my playlist for my lock journey in the description below and maybe somewhere on the video. And if you want to see less of my recap, I will also put some timestamps in the description so that way you can skip ahead to the tips and lessons. All right, without further ado, I am super excited to celebrate 1 year locked. And that's happy birthday to my microlocks. You may be noticing that I have my hair covered, and that is because I'm going to be doing kind of a get ready with me. I just washed my hair last night and I have it in braids. So I'm going to be taking my hair down, taking my braids down while I go over some of the tips and lessons that I've learned about my microlocks over this entire year of being locked. So I've got my trusty mixture here, tea tree oil, rose petal witch hazel, and it's got a little bit of rose water. I've really kind of figured out what works for me and what doesn't over this year. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so my favorite thing about having locks is that I finally have won the battle against shrinkage. That doesn't mean that I don't have any shrinkage. As you can see, there is still some shrinkage involved, and shrinkage is a part of the locking process, but it's way better than it was before. I don't have to deal with doing a hairstyle, picking out my hair, combing it out to a big fro, and then by lunchtime, it's shrunk. And I'm going to start off with the front here, or maybe I'll start with the back. So that's my favorite thing about having locks, that battle against shrinkage. My least favorite thing is definitely the frizz, 100% the frizz. It's not because I don't like the look. The look is fine. My problem is I knew that hand in hair syndrome was going to be a thing, but I didn't realize like how obsessive it can get. Like, it's frustrating how the hair will be frizzy and I'll just feel like I have to like wrap the hair back around the lock constantly. So much so to the point that like I keep my hair wrapped or with a hat on a lot more often than I feel like I would if I didn't have that situation with the frizz. On the bright side, I have things now like my satin lined beanie. So that's very nice. All right, moving on to some of the lessons. Lesson or like big event number one. I guess these are going to be like notes / lessons / like big events, big changes. So for one, I started out with over 550 locks. Yeah. So I had like a sister lock amount of locks and they were way too small. I had studied the like lock sizing charts and things like that before I got my locks installed, and I thought that that's where I wanted them. I believe it was like 1/8 of an inch was the size of the lock base, and it was way too small. So my mom combined them for me. She also installed them for me. And now I have 270 locks. And if you want to see like my lock counting videos and see what it looked like beforehand, again, I'll link it in the description. But that was a big change, and probably the biggest and best change that I made for my locks from the beginning. I think it was like 568. I think, but that was way too much, way too many locks. I couldn't even grasp the lock to really do the interlocking. Like, it was impossible. And then number two is I stopped diluting my shampoo. So I started off with that because I think that like, maybe I had read that like Sister Lock shampoo is diluted or something like that. I have no idea. I don't have Sister Locks, but I was using that bottle with the long tip, as you may have seen, and that just wasn't doing anything. Like, it didn't matter. So I stopped doing that. It was just another way to save some time. And also I feel like my hair got cleaner when I just used the shampoo straight out of the bottle. Obviously you have to like lather it up with the water and stuff like that when you're putting on your hair, but that's kind of par for the course for washing hair. So third, I stopped oiling my hair. So I used to use grapeseed oil and almond oil on my hair to kind of oil it and seal in moisture, but one, that's not as necessary with locks as it is with loose natural hair, and two, it was also contributing to slippage, I believe. And so I stopped doing that. I do think probably as my locks mature, it might be okay and maybe needed to start oiling or using some sort of more intense moisturizer again, but that was something that I stopped doing, and my locks have continued to flourish. So kind of one tip that's especially helpful that I learned that will also be good for you if you're starting your locks is I had a lot of itching when I first got my locks installed, and that goes away. So I just use kind of your little weave pat situation, and then also I used my witch hazel spray, and it will go away. It didn't last that long. Like, looking back, like it was maybe done within the first month or two at the most. So number 5, I braided and banded bigger. I realized that I did not need to do super tiny braids because I went swimming and then I just washed my hair with the same braids after. I was like, oh, this works. I also started using thicker scrunchies. I was using like these before, and they were tugging on my hair when I would take the braids out. Number 6, I learned that I needed to let my hair fully dry from the braiding and banding. So before I used to take it out like half an hour after I got out of the shower and finished washing my hair, and that was causing slippage too. And I believe someone in the comments suggested that I let my hair dry all the way, or maybe it was one of the online lock groups I was in. That definitely helped a lot. Yay, one side down. And 7, I switched my interlocking. So you probably know from my beginning interlocking video that I started out with the 3-point rotation. I picked that one because it was right in between the 2 and the 4. And I thought that I would have the best of both worlds as far as the locks being more compact or being more kind of looser. And I switched to the 2-point rotation because, for the main reason, it's easier, especially when you're locking at the back of your head. It's just faster and easier. And I don't really notice a difference as far as the quality of the locks or anything like that. I actually have learned quite a bit about interlocking since that video. So I'm considering doing an intermediate interlocking video just to kind of go over my new tips about interlocking. Those tips are still really helpful. I just have additional tips. And as you'll notice, you've got to really, really separate the locks so they don't merge together in between interlocking. Oh, that's another thing that I've changed. I interlock every 4 weeks now. 5 weeks, I basically have to be redoing the parts. Okay, it's not that dramatic, but I have to fix the parts a lot after 5 weeks. The hair starts merging, there's so much more new growth, it's a whole hassle. So 4 weeks is where it's at. I also still use apple cider vinegar before I wash my hair. So I spray down my scalp. I put a shower cap on my hair, and also then I use my heating cap. So this is my heating cap. I just put it in the microwave for a minute and then I put it over the shower cap and it steams my hair. No fancy steamer needed. One more braid. Kind of the biggest overall thing from having locks is that it has really made me enjoy and love my hair even more. So I was natural for my entire life up until a brief, almost 1 year period in which I started texloxing my hair, and that was a disaster. I have a whole video on why I kind of fell into that. I basically was seeing 3C hair being celebrated and I wanted to have looser curls. So I was like, I'm gonna texlox my hair. It was a whole problem. So I cut my hair off, did that big chop, and I just wanted to get back to the low maintenance I had with mini twists. So when I had mini twists, I wore that as the only style for years. And I would always feel a little bit less happy with my hair in the time between when I had to take the mini twist out, wash my hair, and then put them back in, with the shrinkage and everything like that. And so this is how I like my hair. Locks made sense. And that's kind of the biggest takeaway, honestly, even more than avoiding the shrinkage, even though they're kind of tied together, is I feel more like myself with locks. I feel more natural, this is the way I feel like my hair wants to be, and this is the way I want my hair, and that's the most important thing about it. It's not going to be the same for everyone, but that's what it is for me. So I have a clip of my hair from 2 weeks ago, about when I had just interlocked it, and so I wanted to capture what that would look like close to my 1 year mark, but with freshly interlocked parts. So I went ahead and included that in my little 1 year recap, and I wanted to go ahead and show you what it looks like actually 1 year, and I've just washed it. Everything's taken out, all the braids are taken out. Let's do it. gotten so long. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Happy birthday to my locks. I have really enjoyed having my locks for this whole year, and I know I'm going to continue to enjoy my locks for years to come. If you got anything from this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I do other content like music. I do videos about giant cookies. I've also started doing some booktube content like book reviews, and I also did some stuff about Blackathon, which was a book readathon. So anyway, if you're interested in any of that, please go ahead and subscribe and check out some of my other videos. Thank you so much for watching a year of my loc videos if you've been here since the start, and thank you for joining if this is your first time seeing me on your screen. I'm just super happy that I did this for my hair. I really am. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, night, evening, wherever it is where you're at. Until next time.